what is going to be the inverse of 7 in modulo 9. What is going to be the inverse of 7 in modulo 9? So for us to get the inverse of 7 in modulo 9, now don't forget, whatever they ask us to get the inverse of has to be in a given modulo. So inverse of 7 in modulo 9, it could also be inverse of 7 in modulo 4. It could be inverse of 7 in any other modulo. But this is inverse of 7 in modulo 9. So what does this mean? It means what are we going to multiply with 7 that will give us 1. So inverse of 7, don't forget this 7 over 1. So the inverse of 7 has to be 1 over 7. We're going to swap the positions of the numerator and the denominator. So 7 times 1 over 7 will give us 1 in modulo 9. That's all we have. So if 7 times 1 over 7 gives us 1 in modulo 9, so you can say the inverse of 7 then has to be something we're going to multiply with 7 that will give us 1 in modulo 9. So it could be modulo anything, it could be modulo 9, modulo 8, modulo 10, or whatever. So 7 times something has to give us 1. So that very thing you're thinking about, has to look like 1 over 7. That's multiply 7 to give us 1. So this p we're talking about, for example, the p is going to represent the 1 over 7, which is the inverse of 7. So what is that? What's going to be that very number that will multiply 7 that will give us 1 in modulo 9? That's what we're going to do. Now it's very simple. We could approach this in various ways. So let's see. This is going to be 7p equals to 1 modulo 9. So don't forget, this very one here simply means remainder 1. That's what it means. So it means 7p was divided by 9, and we got something remainder 1. Whenever you see 1 here, whatever you see here, modulo something, simply means this very stuff is a residue, it's a remnant. So 7p was divided by 9, so that's going to be 7p divided by 9 equals to, let's say we're going to get q remainder 1 over 9. This is the divisor. So when 9 divides 7p, we got q, for example, I'm just assuming, we got q remainder 1, which is this one written here, over 9. So what's that going to be? That will be 7p over 9 equals to 9 times q is 9q plus 1 over 9. They are the same denominators, so this goes out, these two go out, so you're going to be left with this very stuff on top because of the equality sign. So that's going to be 7p equal to 9q plus 1. So you're going to assume, because we're looking for what p would be. What is that very number that will multiply, 7, that will give us 1 modulo 9? So we're going to be we're looking for p. So if q provided, let's say q is 0, for example. So if q is 0, what's going to be p then? That will be 7p equals to 9 times 0 plus 1, that will be 7p. 9 times 0 is 0, 0 plus 1 is 1. Divided side by 7.